2020 and a brand new year of flying starts right here at Manchester Airport. I'm flying today with an airline called Sun Air, who you may not have heard of, but you will certainly recognise their livery. They are a franchise partner of British Airways, operating a fleet of Dornier 328 jets around Europe. Today they very kindly invited me over to their head office in Denmark to take a look around and also to try out the Dornier 328 jet. The BA Lounge at Manchester isn't included in your ticket, but you can gain access via an Executive Club Silver membership, or of course there's other lounges available at Manchester with Priority Pass. Before long I saw the tiny Dornier 328 jet on approach to Manchester. It was originally delivered in 2001 to Atlantic Coast Airlines, who operated the aircraft for Delta Connection. It was sold and stored at Myrtle Beach, Florida in 2004, where it lived until 2007, before Sun Air purchased it to operate it for their BA franchise. It was soon time to board and I headed just downstairs to the gate, where I boarded my ride over to Denmark. Thank you. Thank you. Sun Air seat 32 passengers on their 328 jet in this really comfortable configuration, with smart leather seats in a 1-2 configuration.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, that's from the flight deck. On behalf of British Airways and Sun Air Scandinavia, I'd like to welcome you to this flight to Billund.
Before long, all 26 passengers were on board, and we pushed back to hear the distinctive sound of the PW300 engines starting up. After a short taxi to runway 23 left, we were able to power up and rocket into the skies for our flight to Billund. Our route today took us north out of Manchester towards Newcastle. From there we crossed the North Sea into Denmark, making an approach and landing into runway 27 at Billund. Flight time today was 1 hour and 19 minutes at a cruising altitude of 31,000 feet. Sun Air offer complimentary meals on all of their flights. The morning service consists of a freshly baked cheese roll with Philadelphia and a yoghurt. In addition to the High Life magazine, Sun Air produce their own quarterly magazine. Sun Air operate routes for BA all over Europe aimed at business travellers. They have a big focus on the automotive and aerospace sectors, including connecting several of the Airbus plants in Germany with Toulouse, and a route from Cambridge to Gothenburg, which is popular with the pharmaceutical sector. They also operate several corporate shuttles for Airbus, connecting several other cities with Toulouse. I have to say, so far the 328 jet is a really comfortable little plane to ride on, and the service has been pretty good as well. We've had a breakfast. It's only an hour and a half flight over to Billund. We've had a breakfast, tea, coffee, juices, everything served, all included, so it's been really good. Pretty soon the seatbelt signs came on and we commenced our approach into a rather foggy Billund.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Billund. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened.
Thank you, bye bye.
Bye, you're welcome.
Billund Airport is pretty modern, having opened its new passenger terminal in 2002. I met with Mikhail, who took me around to Sun Air's headquarters on the other side of the airport. Billund is home to LEGO, who have places everywhere in the town, including of course the original Legoland, which is right next door to the airport. On the day I visited Billund, SAS were training crews on their brand new A350, which was doing circuits throughout the day. So here then at Sunair in Billund, really interesting. They don't just do the BA routes, they operate a lot of private charters as well. And with these aircraft here, we've got these Hawker aircraft here that fly private charters for people, for bands and things like that, businessmen and things. Absolutely incredible to be able to have a look around here. Just here is a 328 jet, but it's in a private configuration at the moment, so they operate these for things like bands who want to fly around Europe and stuff. It's a great little aircraft for that as well. And also it has the flexibility because they can use it for either a private configuration or they can rip out the inside and put in seats to the BA franchise as well. It's a very flexible little aircraft.
We just bought that one.
Okay.
Down from Daimler Chrysler in Germany.
This is a private 328 jet.
Yeah. So it's just arrived as it is right now. So it's not looking so nice inside now because we are,
stripping it out
start to look at it and changing the things now. But you can feel that it's a nice cabin to be in.
Very nice, yeah. What sort of range does this thing have then?
It can go from here to Madrid or something. Okay. Mallorca we can catch from here.
So this is good for your kind of bands and things like
this.
That
so who's on a tour, where you go from Düsseldorf to Paris. This is actually a really nice aircraft because you have so good space in here. You can actually nearly stand up here. Yeah. It's a nice business aircraft and it's very difficult actually to find another aircraft in the same size. Because then you go into the RTR market and then you go to a turboprop and say, is that what you want? When now we are straight jets. And if you want to find these niche routes, we're flying a lot of flights for Airbus.
Yes.
From Friedrichshafen to Toulouse, Bremen, Toulouse.
Private charters are run by Sunair's subsidiary JoinJet, who operate private jets and air ambulances all over the world. They've served customers on every continent around the world. I got to have a look around this 8-seater Hawker 4000. This one was delivered in 2010. So this is my ride back to London City tonight then? Yes? Subbing the 328 jet
you
for
can
this.
just put your bag down here.
JoinJet also operate a couple of air ambulances, including this one undergoing a C-check. So this aircraft here is having a C-check. It's a air ambulance that they use. Aside from the private jet charters, they do air ambulance work all around Europe, and this is one of them. It's been here for a while now having its C-check, and there's just bits of brightly painted plane everywhere. It's a bit further round and we've got some citations in this hangar. These are in having some maintenance done on them. Pretty soon it was time to head to the other side of the airport to check out Sunair's 328 jet maintenance facility. So now over in the maintenance hangar for Sunair, this is where they do all the 328 jets maintenance. The aircraft essentially come in from their morning rotations. They have the day here where they're cleaned and prepared for the evening rotations across to different places. This one here, November Charlie Oscar, is going to be taking me across to London City tonight, and it's the only aircraft in their fleet that is actually rated for the approach at London City. They were saying that this is a really high priority to keep this one maintained, because if this aircraft isn't able to fly, then they can't operate the London City route. This is 328 jet heaven. There is two BA ones here, some more over in the distance. So this plane here is November Charlie November. This is the one that brought me in from Manchester this morning, and this one here is Charlie Oscar, which is going to take me back to London City tonight. Sunair are the world's largest operator of the 328 jet, with 15 in their fleet. They spend the day here in the hangar between flights, where they're cleaned and serviced ahead of their evening flight to save on parking them over there at the terminal. After a day that flew by, it was time to head back to the modern terminal at Billund. All passengers flying on Sunair are granted fast-track security at Billund, and passengers flying on full-fare economy tickets or holding silver status or above with BA are given access to the lounge, which has some good views across the airport, when the weather permits of course. You can also buy access for 250 kroner, or about £28, which is pretty expensive for what you get. Or of course you can use Priority Pass. Don't forget of course to use the link down in the description for a discount code off of Priority Pass membership. So then here in the lounge at Billund, fantastic day today with Sun Air looking around the hangar, just waiting for my flight now. Back to London City on board the 328 jet. Thank you, bye. It was soon time to board and I headed down to the gate. Hello. Hi. Thank you. I'm alright, thank you. It wasn't long before the flight attendant came and asked me if I'd mind swapping seats, a request that I begrudgingly accepted. My new seat didn't have the best legroom, but it did have quite a good view, and I settled in for the flight back to London City. All checks complete, we fired up the engines and taxied to runway 27 at Billund. Our route tonight then took us southwest out of Billund towards the Frisian Islands north of Germany. We crossed the Netherlands flying overhead Amsterdam before turning towards the UK and approaching runway 27 at London City from the east. Flight time this evening was 1 hour and 33 minutes at a cruising altitude of 30,000 feet. We got a great view of Amsterdam as we approached from the north. I love flying at night with no lights on in the cabin and you get some incredible views. As we crossed the North Sea, we commenced our descent into London, before contacting London Control for our approach into London City.
Logan 35.
We made a beautiful approach and landing down the unique steep approach path that London City has before touching down right on schedule.
100. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Now, I was travelling today as a guest of Sunair, but the usual price of a one-way flight from Manchester or London City to Billund starts at around £200 each way. Whilst this is quite a bit steeper than other airlines on similar routes, the higher level of service and comfort on board, the included baggage allowance and meals, drinks and a bar service on board does give you slightly more for your money. Remember as well that the route is aimed at business travellers who typically have a higher travel budget. If you want to experience though, your cheapest way is probably to use BA Avios points, which cost just 4,000 Avios plus £17.50 one way, which is a much more reasonable price, and a good way to log the Dornier 328 jet. Overall, I really enjoyed my trip to Billund, and it was interesting learning about all of the other activities that Sunair do, aside from the BA franchise. My ride on the flight deck was the icing on the cake, and I'd like to extend a special thanks to Captain Jens and the crew, as well as to Christian and Michaela at Sunair for arranging this incredible trip. So how unbelievably cool was that? Ride back over to London City with Sunair on the 328 jet. What an incredible ride. Thank you so much to Sunair for everything they've done today. Really do appreciate everything. It's been amazing seeing how everything works, and I've learnt a lot about their operations as more than just a BA franchise partner. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do remember to hit that like button and comment down below, and also if you wouldn't mind giving me a subscribe, that would be great too. As always, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.